As soon as the F-16s were spotted in Ukraine, Russian propagandists began spreading reports that the Russian army had allegedly already shot down Western fighters. Russian Telegram channels spread a photo of a downed American F-16 fighter jet in Odesa. However, the occupiers' fake was quickly exposed. The photo shared by the Russians does indeed show a damaged American F-16 fighter jet, but not in Odesa, but at the Florence air base in Belgium. The accident occurred in October 2018. The fighter exploded during maintenance and burned down. But still, passerby in Odesa managed to take photos of the F-16 in the air, and the Odesa-based newspaper Domskaya even published a photo of the plane in the sky, which was labeled as the first F-16 in Ukraine. The event took place after Ukraine officially conducted the first combat missions of the F-16 fighter jets after their long-awaited arrival. According to the publication, the planes have so far been used only for air defense. The news of the F-16's arrival comes after Russia launched one of its largest drone attacks against Ukraine since the start of its full-scale invasion. At the same time, the internet was flooded with news that Ukraine had finally received the first batch of F-16 fighter jets after months of persistent requests for increased protection from incessant Russian missile attacks. Western allies promised to deliver the first F-16s by the end of July and kept their word. According to public sources, the number of aircraft is still small. However, we've learned from insider sources that this small number of F-16 fighters has already managed to secretly shoot down Russian missiles over Ukraine during a recent massive missile attack. For obvious reasons, the details of the operation are not disclosed, but it's known that 100% of the targets were hit. This is truly an incredible result and a significant strengthening of the Ukrainian Air Force. For security reasons, the exact number of aircraft has not been disclosed yet. At the same time, we also learned that despite the Pentagon's limited stocks and production capabilities, the delivered fighter jets are already armed with the latest American weapons. Among the powerful weapons are the AGM-158 HARM air-to-ground missiles, long-range JDAMs, small-diameter bombs that explode with a small radius of destruction, AMRAAM advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles, and AIM-9X short-range air-to-air missiles. Given such a formidable arsenal, it's not surprising that the F-16 fighters were easily able to successfully shoot down all the targets. Against such missiles and bombs, any Russian weapons look ridiculous. F-16s are specially designed to suppress enemy air defenses, which makes them truly decisive in the war in Ukraine. But the Kremlin's already stated that the number of fighters will gradually decrease as they're going to shoot them down, and these deliveries will not have any significant impact on the situation at the front. However, the question arises as to what exactly they can oppose the latest American fighters and what exactly they want to use to shoot them down. In order to answer these questions, it's necessary to look in more detail at the technical characteristics of the F-16 and its possible competitors on the battlefield. The F-16 Fighting Falcon is a fourth-generation multi-role fighter developed by the Lockheed Martin Company. It's one of the most widely used and well-known fighter jets in the world. The fighter has a maximum speed of 1,320 miles per hour and a range of about 2,620 miles. The Su-30M could be a possible opponent on the battlefield. This multifunctional fighter is known for its maneuverability and ability to perform a wide range of missions. The maximum speed is the same as that of the American counterpart. The range is shorter, only 1,860 miles. The Su-30M has modern avionics and radars. In addition, its maneuverability is ensured by the ability to use engine thrust vectoring, which can give an advantage in close combat. Another potential adversary is the Su-35S, an improved version of the Su-27 designed to perform multifunctional missions. The Su-35S also has modern avionics and thrust vectoring capability, which ensures high maneuverability. The Iris-E radar has a long detection range and can operate at long distances. The Su-35S is also too heavy and has a shorter range. Perhaps the most popular comparison among military experts is between the F-16 and the MiG-29M. It's a modernized version of the MiG-29 known for its maneuverability. The maximum speed of this aircraft is 1,490 miles an hour, which is significantly higher than that of the American fighter jet. The MiG-29M is also highly maneuverable thanks to its modern engines and control system. The H-019 tracker radar provides a high level of airborne target detection. However, the range of the MiG-29M is shorter than that of the F-16, and it has a smaller payload. If we summarize the main indicators of the four aircraft, we can say that the Su-30M and Su-35S have an advantage in maneuverability due to the ability to vector thrust, which can be decisive in close air combat against the F-16. The MiG-29M also demonstrates high maneuverability, although it doesn't have the same level of modern avionics. The F-16 has a longer range than the MiG-29M, but the Su-30M and Su-35S can be equipped with additional fuel tanks to increase the range. However, even with the additional tanks, the range of the Su-30M and Su-35S may still be less than that of the F-16 at full combat load. In conclusion, all three Russian aircraft have their advantages and disadvantages compared to the American F-16. The Su-30M and Su-35S, thanks to their maneuverability and modern avionics, can be competitive in close combat, but have a shorter range without additional fuel tanks. The MiG-29M has high maneuverability, but limitations in range and payload may affect its effectiveness compared to the F-16. But let's not forget about Russian anti-aircraft weapons, which can be effective in shooting down American fighters. The R-73 is one of the oldest and most famous short-range air-to-air missiles developed in the USSR and modernized in Russia. It's known for its high maneuverability and the ability to be launched in full stealth coverage. The missile has excellent sensitivity to thermal radiation and is highly effective in close combat. Although the R-73 is a powerful missile for close combat, its limited range of 24 miles may not be sufficient to engage targets at long distances. The R-77 is an intermediate-range missile that was developed as a response to the U.S. AMRAAM missile. It has a long range of 62 miles and a modern guidance system, making it a competitive alternative to the U.S. missile. Nevertheless, the Russian missile may be less effective in conditions of active electronic countermeasures or in situations where it's necessary to detect a target at a very long distance. The American F-16 is known for its high maneuverability, which makes it difficult to hit with an air-to-air missile such as the R-73. At the same time, medium-range missiles such as the R-77 have a better chance of hitting a target due to their detection capabilities and range. However, during combat, the F-16 can use hit-and-run tactics, avoiding direct contact and using their maneuverability to evade missiles. However, when approaching anti-aircraft missile systems, the possibility of their destruction increases. As we can see, the consequences of an F-16 combat engagement with various Russian weapons depend on a large number of factors, ranging from tactics to combat conditions. However, the greatest advantage of the F-16 in this confrontation compared to the Russian aircraft is not the technical capabilities of the machine, but the level of training of the crews. The successful training of Ukrainian pilots on U.S. F-16s was an important step in the modernization of the Ukrainian Air Force and the enhancement of its operational capabilities. From the beginning of the training process to its completion, this program proved its effectiveness and demonstrated a high level of professionalism of both Ukrainian pilots and American instructors. Upon completion of the training, the Ukrainian pilots demonstrated a high level of training and successfully integrated into their squadrons. Their new skills and knowledge have enabled the Ukrainian Air Force to significantly increase its operational efficiency, improve its tactical capabilities, and enhance its readiness to perform complex airborne missions. Ukrainian pilots have already demonstrated their newly acquired skills in real combat and proved that they're capable of giving a worthy fight to the Russian occupiers and inflicting crushing defeats on them. The F-16 is a fourth-generation multi-role fighter jet that's been the backbone of Western air forces since the 1980s. A total of 4,600 aircraft have been produced and 2,100 are currently in use in 20 countries. This makes it clear that the F-16 is the most widely used fighter jet in the world and the most anticipated for Ukraine. Together with the donation of fighter jets from other NATO allies, Ukraine should have received dozens of F-16s at the end of 2023 and even more in 2024. But at the time, the West refrained from supplying aircraft for two reasons. First, there were potential concerns that Russia would view the transfer as a serious escalation that would lead to retaliation against the United States. And second, there were some U.S. officials that believed learning to fly and logistically support the technologically advanced F-16 might be more difficult and time-consuming than it was actually worth. The first thing you need to know is how the Ukrainian Air Force has fared so far in the war with what they've had. As a former Soviet state, the Ukrainian Air Force inherited many Russian-made aircraft when it gained independence in 1991. For decades, the main fighters were old versions of MiG-29 and Su-27 aircraft. According to rough estimates, Ukraine had about 50 MiG-29 fighters and 24 Su-27s, which is not much compared to the Russian tactical aircraft of 900. However, the supposed Russian air superiority was never achieved. Ukrainian air defense systems and fighters have forced the Russian aerospace forces to be more cautious in their air missions. This allowed Ukrainian pilots to use hit-and-run tactics to punish any Russian aircraft that went too far before retreating back behind the air defense system. It wasn't all good news for Ukraine, though, and their air force suffered heavy losses in the first phase of the invasion. Ukraine lost 62 aircraft in 2022. Thanks to new tactics and a more conservative approach, these losses were reduced to 7 aircraft in 2023. If you look at the capabilities of the former Soviet MiG-29 and Su-27 fighters on paper, you'll find a lot in common with the F-16. 2 Soviet fighters were designed with a greater emphasis on air superiority. Therefore, they're actually faster and more maneuverable than the F-16. All 3 aircraft have a turnover load of about 9 G. The F-16 is more of a multi-role platform for ground and air missions. It's like a Swiss Army knife of planes. This is a small performance gap, although the F-16 is about 170 miles per hour slower than Soviet jets, depending on the version. So if the F-16 is not radically better than what Ukraine already has in terms of performance, why have Ukrainian pilots been asking to fly these aircraft for years? The reality is that Ukrainian MiG-29s and Su-27s are much older versions than the same aircraft used by Russia. The Ukrainian versions of MiGs and Sukhoi are stuck in the past with inferior radar and weapons than those that Russia has on its modern versions. The Ukrainian MiG-29 can only detect aircraft at a distance of about 50 miles, while more modern Russian radars can track targets up to 100 miles away, including small radar tracks such as cruise missiles and certain drones. This way, Russia not only sees Ukrainian pilots from a greater distance, but can also shoot them first. The latest R-77 missiles can hit targets over 70 miles away, while Ukraine has nothing with that range or the ability to shoot and forget. So switching to the F-16 will completely change this equation with not only better radar sensors and electronic warfare capabilities, but also full access to the entire modern lineup of NATO armament. I didn't specify the exact range of the radar because it varies greatly depending on the specific version of the F-16 that Ukraine will receive. Among the weapons that the F-16 brings is the legendary AIM-120 AMRAAM used by the U.S. and allies since 1991. The AMRAAM has a reputation for being an extremely deadly missile, giving Ukraine the ability to reach out over 65 miles along with fire and forget capability. Russian pilots have had a huge advantage over Ukrainian Air Force until now thanks to their active radar missiles, so giving Ukraine the F-16 and a steady supply of the AMRAAM puts Ukraine on much more equal footing. Another thing you have to remember is that the F-16 is going to have an expected lifespan of between 3,500 and 4,500 flight hours, while Soviet aircraft have only 2,000 to 3,500. So the F-16 is going to be a huge advantage there. But what was holding the West back for so long, preventing them from sending the F-16? Well, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claimed that sending F-16s to Ukraine would be seen as a nuclear threat. But this is the same strategy that Russia has employed for years now, drawing supposed nuclear red lines in the sand for any action by the West that opposes their interests, not just in Ukraine, but all over the world. So I think the leaders of the United States and Europe are tired of nuclear blackmail. In fact, there's already experience of transferring disputed weapons. A perfect example of this is the AGM-158 HARM anti-radiation missile, which targets and destroys enemy radar systems to blind the enemy and neutralize their longest-range surface-to-air missile batteries. The U.S. donated these HARM systems to Ukraine around July of 2022. They had an immediate impact on Russian air search and defense systems. When installed on a modern Western aircraft such as the F-16, the HARM can connect to the aircraft's more powerful radars and sensor systems to increase the detection range, allowing the pilot to fire the missile more accurately and with a much lower chance of return fire. Still, there are some concerns about adapting to the new aircraft, and Ukrainian pilots are excited about the modern digital cockpit of the F-16. Former Soviet MiGs and Su-27s have these old analog instrument clusters with dials and gauges with very few digital displays. In contrast, the F-16 uses multi-function displays to show all the most important information in the user interface, with analog dials used as a backup for less important tasks. Digital cockpits display information better and can customize the pilot's needs by quickly switching modes in an intuitive way. This reduces the burden on the pilot's attention, and the pilot's attention is a resource that's as valuable as the aircraft itself. But learning how to fly a Western aircraft with a completely different design language from Soviet aircraft meant that even skilled pilots needed months of training to be ready for combat. The F-16 itself is also very different from Soviet aircraft. The MiG-29 and Su-27 have been in service in Ukraine for a long time thanks to the additional strength that allows them to take off from civilian airfields, highways, and ordinary roads, meaning Russians have had a hard time finding and striking the aircraft on the ground since they're always shuffling to new positions. But the F-16 is far more sensitive to airfield conditions requiring pristine chef's kiss, the perfect runways, and a lot of maintenance to keep its advanced systems functional. This limits the number of F-16 locations in Ukraine, which reduces the effective combat range of the fighters. Ukraine's been working to improve its air bases to prepare for Western jets for this reason. But the difficulties are not only in pilots and air bases, but also in aircraft maintenance. According to a Government Accountability Office report, maintenance personnel in the United States Air Force require between 23 and 133 days of training just to reach the apprentice level. A small number of trained ground crews to maintain the fighters is almost as bad as not getting new fighters at all. The cost factor should also be considered. Every AMRAAM fired costs $1.8 million per missile to produce. Western leaders have publicly commented and recommended that these costs for Ukraine be maintained as long as necessary to force Russia to back down. But the Russian strategy for continuing the war, despite the lack of progress, seems to be based on the idea that Western support is running out. But in reality, most of the military assistance coming to Ukraine is surplus equipment that the US and other NATO countries were going to get rid of anyway. In the case of the F-16, Western countries have transferred their fighters to Ukraine as they're replacing old fighters with new F-35s anyway. In any case, the assistance saves money for some of these countries by eliminating the difficulties associated with decommissioning aircraft. Yes, believe it or not, decommissioning old equipment is expensive. Even if there's a long wait for the F-16 before Ukraine can fly full squadrons, starting this process now ensures that Ukraine will have access to hundreds of F-16s in the future. Even if the F-16s don't shoot down enemy aircraft for months, the mere fact that they're flying may force Russia to make a difficult choice between keeping the old airframes and preventing competition in the skies over Ukraine. What do you think? Write your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to watch our other videos on military technology to stay up to date. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more interesting details. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.